Hello, and welcome to the final episode of the Liberal Factor. This is likely to be the last video on this channel and by me as a creator. And I know that for a while I've been teasing that I want to revamp the channel, take in a new creative direction, but I don't foresee that happening. And I want to take this time to explain why, as well as, for anyone who's interested, explain how this channel, how the new Liberal Head idea came to be. Before I start, I just want to thank you all for 6 years of support. Looking back at my channel, I can't believe it's lasted this long. And while I may not have been as verbal as perhaps I should have been, it did mean a lot to me that you all were watching my videos, even if I can't watch some of my older ones anymore. In the last 6 years, a lot has changed. I've really grown in really every way. When I look back to those old videos, where I was then, with that high-pitched, squeaky voice, the very non-demanding camera effects, or the youthful enthusiasm I've tried to keep to this day. There's just so much has changed. And yes, I'll be constantly looking over this direction slightly because, unlike a lot of my older videos where I did it on the cuff and just came up with whatever crossed my mind, this video's not going to be like those, and I'm going to tackle a subject that I don't feel comfortable doing on the fly. And so I wanted to write this down because you all deserve better for a serious topic like this than whatever bullcrap that I can spew. But before I sign off, before this all comes to an end, as I mentioned earlier, I want to discuss how the concept of the new Liberal Head, how this channel came to being, and why and how it led me to be where I am. I'm going to spare you my life story, but I'm going to tell you the story of who I was before that first video was uploaded, when I was 13 years old, right smack dab in the middle of junior high, and who I was then versus who I am now. Really, the channel started as my escape from my life. The escape from junior high, when I just wanted to get out, when I wanted to be anywhere but there. And it was my form of creative expression when I was at a point in my life when I didn't think that I could write worth a damn, and I didn't produce any art that you would ever see in a museum, or let alone see on the walls of my own school in a very small art class. Guess ran a little bit deeper than that. This was really an escape when I would have rather lived the life of my dog at the time than my own life. I was very much in a dark place, and this is no means to belittle anyone or to say that my life was in some way a living nightmare or worse than any of you who are watching. But for me, it was all I could handle day in and day out and more. And I'm not looking for pity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't want to say, look at where I was, look how awful I felt, pity me, some way make me feel better. Because I'm not that 13-year-old. a lot of time has passed. A lot of stuff has happened. Wonderful things, great things. Some not so good, admittedly, but most of them pretty good. Um, I guess I should preface this with I was never very popular in school. I was bullied, probably disproportionately. I like to quote that between 5th and 7th grade, 4 people were suspended for bullying me in different ways, ranging from physical to verbal bullying. And during that time, while I didn't know it, I hated myself. As I said, I didn't know that, but I hated who I saw in the mirror. I was never comfortable with who I was. I never felt that I was very talented or good at whatever I was doing. That was somehow inferior to everyone else that I knew. That I didn't belong in that room with them. That I did not fit in. That I was not capable of functioning at a level even similar to the people I knew and people around me. Um, there were nights when, and I still don't like admitting this to myself, but there were nights when I considered whether everyone would be better off if I wasn't there, just out of the picture. Um, Note, I never tried to take my own life, but when I look back at my darkest point, I definitely considered it. I just don't think I would have been able to pull it off. But the scariest part was, as I alluded to, years went by before I really grasped my situation and what I had been through, after I had already found my way through that part of my life. Um, when I fully realized that it wasn't just a self-esteem issue, and it wasn't just, oh, little thing here, little thing there, that I really had been battling depression for, well, all of my junior high and probably a year before then. And I dealt with that depression alone. And I was afraid that if I told someone, or even fully admitted to myself, that told anyone really, that they would have thought I was crazy. And I was at a point where I was so self-conscious of that, where I was so terrified that it would somehow derail what I had left in my life. And I decided to go through it on my own. I didn't really have anyone to turn to. Probably should have made more of an effort to. I didn't know then. But I was wrong. I should have sought help. I didn't know then. No one knew. I know now. And that's why I say this. I say this as a plea to anyone out there who is suffering from depression like I did, or in a situation worse than mine, or knows anyone who's suffering from depression, to know that you or they are not alone, and you are not crazy, and to get help, to not do what I did, and to fight this. And definitely, and I can't reiterate this enough, do not give up. That was one of the only things I had going for me, that I had a determination that I was going to fight through it, that I knew that eventually I'd find a light at the other end of the tunnel, but it wasn't easy, and I wasn't always sure that there was going to be one, but I had to hope. That's all I had. And, well, it got me here, and that means a lot. And that there's so many amazing options to help combat this, and to just have someone to be there for you, to know that you don't have to go through this alone. There are therapists who do this for a living, and if you really get as low as I did or lower, there are suicide prevention hotlines. There are people you can call and talk to whose jobs revolve around to make sure that you don't make a hasty decision and give up when you have every reason to keep going. There are family practice doctors who hear this, and it's their job to help people find a way to cope with this situation, and to give them options, and to give them someone to listen to talk to give them better options, than to take their own life or to decide that it's not worth continuing and to give up. Sorry, flipping through pages, trying to remember what I want to say. All of you out there who are watching are special and are beautiful people. And I want anyone to know who's suffering from anything like this that I do care. That at least I am there for you. And that there are people out there who want to help you. And you don't have to face this alone. And your life is precious enough, is valuable enough, that you should want to seek some help. I want you to learn from my story and my mistakes. To not be alone. And most of all, to thank you again for these 6 years. I don't know where I would be without you. I know I wouldn't be here. And while perhaps my life is taking a different path now, that perhaps I'm not making these videos anymore, but it still meant a lot to me, and I will carry that with me for the rest of my life. And I hope that everyone who is or has found themselves in a similar spot can take this to heart and to find help and to reach out to others to find the happiness that I have found in my life. And if you have questions or comments, please leave them down below and I'll respond to each and every one of them. I don't want anyone to feel like their voice isn't going to be heard or is irrelevant. And if anyone wants to reach out to me through these messages, through the comments below, who's suffering from depression or something similar, and would like someone to talk to or like me to help them find someone to talk to closer to them, please contact me. Just know there is always hope. And thanks for watching.